Alright everybody, hello and welcome. As always, I am Sean. This is In The Mixer, episode 175 of our Isle of Man series. Happy Friday, wherever in the world you happen to be watching from. It's been a busy ass week. I cannot wait to get stuck into some Football Manager, and we've got two huge games in today's episode. One to hopefully keep us top of the division in the Premier League, and then another to hopefully get us through to the Carabao Cup semi-finals. We're not going to waste too much time. Let's jump in and see how we've gone over the last couple of games. So first and foremost, and it's a habit I'm very much enjoying at the moment, right up the top of the table there, FC Isle of Man, 16 games played, 13 wins, 2 draws, 1 defeat, plus 18 goal difference, and 41 points. 2 points clear of Manchester United in second spot, 5 points clear now of Manchester City down in third, though they do both have higher goal differences if it does come down to that difficulty at the end of the season. Now, we have played a couple of games since the other day, and I'm not going to lie, there have been a couple of warning signs about a couple of different results throughout that time. We, of course, played Liverpool, a great 2-1 win, and then Atletico Madrid, a good 5-2 victory, really putting our foot down in kind of the last half an hour of this one to get ourselves the victory. We then beat Norwich 3-0 in a very straightforward performance. Pablo Rivera and Uli Schaefer both getting amongst the goals, which was great to see. And then this is where I think the warning signs started to kick in. Twice we had to come back from goals down. We were actually 2-0 down. Thomas Fleshman getting the goals in the 18th and 24th minutes for Chelsea. Schaefer brought us back to parity at halftime. We got a goal, an absolute screamer from Arnaud Henry after 48 minutes. And then we kind of went back to our positive structure a bit for the last 30 minutes, tried to defend a lead and just invited way too much pressure. It would not have surprised me if Chelsea had won this game, or if Chelsea had have at least pulled back for a draw. We rode our luck a little bit, got a good result, a fantastic result really away from home at Stamford Bridge. But in reality, I probably should have seen the signs there that perhaps we did need to mix something up in terms of players' roles or personnel or the tactic itself. And then that kind of showed through as well in the next game also. We went attacking away from home against Moneybags Brighton. They really torched us quite a bit. We were thoroughly dominated in the first half, went in 2-0 down at half-time. We did pull the trigger on the hairdryer a little bit. Uli Schaefer pulled the goal back on 58 minutes. Paul Harold got a fantastic strike from distance on 62 minutes to make it 2-2. They went back ahead again, 82nd minute, Miguel Garcia with the goal to put Brighton 3-2 up. It's worth noting we did miss a penalty in the first half as well. Pablo Rivera, he came off at half-time because there was just no getting him back to a positive match rating after he'd missed that pen. And thankfully, Uli Schaefer, who's been in great form lately and is our current leading scorer for the season, did pull a goal back in the 91st minute. But I think what that has kind of meant is that we maybe need to get away from our attacking formation for a little bit, drop our intensity, just with the amount of games that we're playing, midweek through September, October, November, and now into December as well. A lot of hectic fixtures coming up over the next few games. We might just relax a little bit, play a bit more, still positive, still wanting to go after it, but not as hell for leather attacking over the next 3 or 4 games. And that's probably what we're going to try and do in this episode, just to try and arrest some of the slips in form. Bad results don't always mean that you've had good performances or bad performances, but I've been able to feel in the last couple of games that, we have just been slipping a little bit. We did rotate quite heavily for our last group stage game in the Champions League. You can see quite a few of the backup players play. They will also likely play against Tottenham in the Carabao Cup quarterfinal, and we did really well. A 5-1 victory against Monaco. It did guarantee us top spot finish in the Champions League. We do go through to the knockout stages. That was, of course, secured in yesterday's episode when we beat Atletico Madrid, but always good to see us kind of continuing an undefeated run through that group stage. And it puts us into the bigger pot for the knockout round draw, which you will also see in this episode. It happens in between the games against Newcastle and the Carabao Cup quarterfinal against Tottenham. As far as the squad's concerned, we have played quite a bit of football. We are starting to pick up a couple of knocks here and there. Esteban's been out for a little bit. Yusuf Balde picked up a knock. Lucas Gabriel does make his way back into the team for this first match, but in reality, we probably don't really need to rush him. Furkan Yilmaz has had a knock at the same time. You know what? Even just talking through that, we might just bring Lucas Gabriel off the bench and see how he goes. We don't want to risk anyone heading into busy periods and knockout stages of the Champions League or anything like that. So we might make that adjustment. Haji's back into full fitness. Arnaud Henry's back into full fitness. We've gotten through a lot of the bumps for a lot of different people. And I'm hopeful this side that has been scoring freely, that is sitting at the top of the division, can continue its good run of form and continue getting good results to keep a little bit of distance between ourselves and the chasing pack. Looking at Newcastle's form, they're actually in decent form as well. 4 wins and a draw last time out against Southampton at home. Pretty decent results as well. They've beaten Watford, Fulham, Tottenham and Norwich during that period. Some of those sides, not entirely slouches, but we do have a better record against them. 10 wins, 3 draws and 3 wins for Newcastle as well. But they do play a very direct brand of football. It has given us issues in the past, and they do have a couple of ex-FC Isle of Man players in their lineup and in their squad that could potentially come back to bite us. The game loves giving you that little commentary spiel saying he's bitten the hand that feeds or whatever it was. and there's a couple of faces out there that I've just noticed already. So first going through our lineup, Mancini in goal, Abdesamad and Warburton will play as a defensive partnership with Esteban out with that injury. Warburton will play as the stopper. We might, I think, Abdesamad hasn't quite developed to, like the 5-star player that we wanted him to be when we picked him up a couple of seasons ago as a wonder kid. We might go in for another central defender and maybe we move him on. We'll see. We'll see how that goes and we'll see what kind of cash we've got come January. Carlos Andre at left wing back, Furkan Yilmaz, that late change who comes in at right wing back. We will try and get Lucas Gabriel some time off the bench as he works his way back to full fitness. Santana Henry, our preferred central midfield partnership, resumes at the base of midfield. Harold on the left wing, Castro on the right wing. He is our leading assist maker for the season with 8 so far in 23 appearances in all competitions. Schaefer, our leading scorer so far this season, 18 goals in 24 appearances, 3 of those off the bench as well. Very important. And in the Premier Division so far, 10 goals in 15 is very impressive. From the German, Rivera wears the captain's armband and leads the line up top. Looking over at Newcastle, they're adopting kind of a similar shape and formation to ours. It's 2 defensive midfielders, I think, just by the depth in which they're sitting on the pitch here. Instead of, what we play, 2 central midfielders and 2 attacking wingers, they've just got a left mid and a right mid. They do have some good players, though. Some old ex-wonder kids. Kovermans, I recognise from forever ago. Dutch wonder kid way back in the day at Sparta Rotterdam. He's been at Newcastle now 7 seasons. Hasn't been fantastic. 5.8 as an average rating in the Carabao Cup. I guess they were knocked out of that competition. 6.9 and 13 conceded in 16 appearances within the Premier Division as well. So maybe he's someone that we can get at a little bit. They've got Xavi in midfield, not the famous Spaniard, but the French one-cap international. Looks solid, but not super spectacular. Good first touch, good passing. He's joined from Lyon about 3 seasons ago and continues to work his way into the team. Arnold Feenstra is their leading assist maker and the captain of the side. He was a wonder kid back in the day, both when he was at Groningen and then when he eventually went to Nice over in France. £43.5 million they paid for him from Groningen, which we just couldn't afford at the time, but he was like a proper world beater wonder kid for a little while there. Hasn't quite developed, I think, the way that they would have hoped, but is 4-star current and potential ability. It looks to be a very decent player. And then up the top, ex-FC Isle of Man, Lionel Altamiranda. He was a fantastic player for us in the Championship. That Championship winning season was fantastic for us that first season in the Premier Division, keeping us up in the division and getting us an 11th spot finish. 20 goals in his debut season, and he's been at Newcastle now for way longer than he was with us, even longer than he was with Rosario Central. Hasn't still got the same amount of goals that he got for us in just that 2-year spell. So interesting to see that he is playing still quite frequently. He's enjoying his best start to a season. By the looks of things, roughly gets around a 6.8 rating for Newcastle over the last few years. I'd assume a lot of these appearances are bench appearances. Yeah, you can see 9 appearances last season off the bench. 28 starts the year before that. That's pretty impressive. So far, 2 goals, 2 assists in 7 appearances and a 7.16 match rating thus far. They do also have, and it doesn't look like they've named him in the squad, they've got Jose Cedron and they've got Larry Ortiz. So there's a couple of Newcastle players in or with history with the Isle of Man that haven't been involved in the squad. Assertively, we're going to say media of humanly credit lately. It seems to be doing the trick at the moment. And we've gone attacking. I didn't mean to do that. We're going to drop back to positive as we discussed beforehand and just see if we can't drop off a little bit further, invite Newcastle out and hopefully exploit some space in behind. First highlight ball in here from Carlos Andre. It's a good header away. Furkan Yilmaz will reset here. Works it out to the left-hand side. Harold now gets into the box. Cuts back to Santana at the edge of the area, and it was always rising the shot, to be fair. And I think the keeper had it covered as well. His positioning looked good. Kovermans with the goal kick here. Following pretty much on from the last highlight. Long ball forward towards Pereira. Knocked down Pashavi in midfield. Now Feenstra looking to cut back on that left foot. Finds Altamiranda, who skips past one challenge and then forces a good save out of Mancini in goal, out for the corner for Newcastle. First real highlight we've seen since dropping to positive. Rildo with the corner now, left-footed towards Andrada, and his header well over the crossbar. I think it might have been going wide as well. Not the best effort on goal. In other games around the grounds, United have taken an early lead in their match. We'll have to keep an eye on their game against Swansea. Does see them go top of the division as things currently stand. On Reed though here, ball into Santana. Santana exchanges passes with Schaefer, plays a great ball on the overlap for Furkan Yilmaz. Knocked down there by Schaefer to Harold, and it's a good save from Kovermans again. Forces it out for the corner. Good little passage of play. Nice little intricate work in and around the box. Castro with the corner. Kovermans only punches. Pereira clears it away. Henry should get there first for us. Yilmaz, Carlos Andre. Oh, that comes to an end as we take the ball back. Highlight here again. Deep area for Newcastle. Ball's with Feenstra inside his own half. Crosses the halfway line and plays it out to the left-hand side. Rildo's there. It takes a good touch around Furkan Yilmaz. Pinballs around and it makes its way back to Mancini that does well to save and hold. Maybe a back pass, maybe a header, maybe a chest control. Who knows? But we're through 30 minutes. We're going to use a get creative shout. because we haven't created too much here in the first half. And if things stay as they are going into half time, maybe we do make the adjustment back to our attacking structure for the second half. Santana here with the ball, sends it out to Henri on the right hand side. We've got overlaps here if you can find them. He puts a ball in behind for Castro, does well to keep it under control, and gets a ball near post to Rivera, but Kovermans again with a good save. That time he holds, and the highlight continues. It's a long ball forward, and they transition very quickly to a 4 up front. Mancini with the ball back here. You can kind of see in their build-up play, they do go very direct in possession, just trying to get those 4 front men in 1v1 situations early in the piece. Santana with the ball here, though, and he's got an acre to run forward into in midfield. Back to Henri at the base. Just pick your spot. Wait for them to commit to the press. Drag men out. Schaefer, great ball to Rivera. It's a good first-time finish. It is going to be pulled back from offside, though. He did look it in the build-up, to be fair. But lovely one-touch football there from Schaefer, finding Rivera in that pocket off the shoulder. We can find a goal. It's just about staying diligent, being on top of our chances. And as the half-time's called, 11 shots, 4 on target, 68% possession for the Isle of Man. 9 shots, 5 on target, 32% possession for Newcastle, as I hiccup directly into the microphone. Tactically, let's make that jump back. Let's go back to attacking. Let's do the team talk. Let's get passionate. Let's say we've been the better team. We can win this. And that hasn't quite worked. Let's just tell everyone that they've got the ability to make a real difference, and everyone seems to be happy or motivated, which is exactly what we want heading into the second half of a match. And as we always do, we'll give it 15 minutes. We'll have a look at subs, changes, if there's anything we need to do tactically. Furkan Yilmaz with a great challenge there. And then Schaefer tried to put a first-time ball in behind for Rivera, but it's won back by the Newcastle defence. Andrada, Alvarez, press is good. Long ball forward to Pereira, knocked down for Martineau. Feenstra, he's the danger man over on that left-hand side. He's immediately trying to cut inside and get 1v or 2v1 advantages through midfield. Xavi, now Martineau. Back to Xavi again, into Pereira. Now Feenstra, probably the biggest passage of build-up play we've seen from Newcastle in the match thus far. Cut back here for Feenstra. It's pinballing around. Pereira gets the strike away. Feenstra plays it all the way back to Martineau in midfield, and then I think the referee brings it back for an offside call in the build-up. Rildo, wide free kick. And I tell you what, Mancini came out and missed it, and they've just headed over the crossbar. Here we go, wide free kick for us. Castro to take towards back post. It's a poor ball, to be fair. Kovermans just peels off and no challenge as he comes out to claim the ball. They've left men forward, but we've managed to recover from the long clearance. Henri in possession now. Looks out to the right-hand side. Furkan Yilmaz on the overlap. Cross is shut down, but he does get a second chance at it. Across to Henri now. Now Santana, edge of the area. Castro flies away to the ball, and it manages to fall to his feet, and it's an excellent finish. He didn't have much angle to work with at all. I bitch and moan about people shooting from wide areas. This is the 1 in 100 that you see actually hit the back of the net. It's Henri's original strike. It's Santana's strike, I apologise. Shut down by the defence. Castro does very well to bring it under, and then the keeper doesn't even move as he slides that one into the far corner. Keeper should have done better, to be fair. I'd be annoyed if Mancini let that one in with that angle on his side. Does see us go back top of the division, and we are about to hit the hour mark, so we can make a couple of subs to try and press home our advantage a little bit. If we look by match rating, Harold's not having the greatest game. We might bring on Mateo. And then the other one we want to try and get is Furkan Yilmaz. He's not played poorly by any stretch, but we're going to bring on Lucas Gabriel, try and work him back to full fitness. And passionately, we're going to say we've got faith in both of them. Let's put our foot down now, boys. Let's get a second goal. Let's try and boost the goal difference a little bit, and let's try and secure the 3 points. United, you can see, have taken a 2-0 lead against Swansea. We at least want to keep up with their goal difference at the moment. Rivera to Henri. Good ball out and across. Beats a man in midfield as well. Can he find a pass? A square ball to Santana, edge of the area, and he's rifled that one home. The Mexican international, I think, scored like 2 goals last season. He's definitely taken his game to another level this year. 5 goals already as we enter the festive period. And it's a good ball here from Henri. I can't tell if he beats the man or if he gets tackled and it just falls back to his feet. He just walks around it, kind of. And then he gets tackled a little bit. No, Xavi actually clears it into Henri. It falls to Santana, and he just rifles that one into the top corner from about 20 yards. An excellent finish, and probably a just reward for us going a little bit more attacking here in the second half, at least of the two sides as we're seeing it. Does push us up to plus 20 goal difference. We're still well behind City and United, but it's a step in the right direction. And with 10 minutes remaining, we might make that last sub. Looking at form, no one's playing horribly, so let's go by condition. Castro maybe just needs a little bit of a spell. We'll let Frank Richard come on the right-hand side, get a bit of fresh legs out there on the right, see if he can't chase down a few lost causes, put some pressure on, win the ball back in some good areas and get some good deliveries into the box. We've also used the demand more shout with 10 minutes remaining just to give everyone some focus through to full time, and it looks like it's done the trick. 4 additional minutes to be added on. Possession here with Newcastle. Feenstra might have swapped sides. He's picking the ball up now on the left-hand side. Switch out there to Xavi. Now Dixon. Reverse pass should be claimed by Mancini. We're 2v2 if we get this ball forward quickly, but we're a bit slow in that transition. They've gone out to the right now. First involvement for Richard the sub. Good ball in behind for Rivera. Switches out to Mateo, far left-hand side, who gets Carlos Andre at the overwrap, working it nicely side to side, but we've given the ball back to Xavi, and he can go directly up the line where they've left Dixon forward. They might have gone 3 up top here. Abdesamad let it run there for no reason. Peterson gets the chance at goal. Mancini with a wonderful near-post save. Abdesamad's not a bad player. We've won a lot with him in the side, but he just does weird shit like that every now and then. And we might be on here for the counter. Richard brings it forward. We've got 2v1 in the middle, and we've got players streaming forward back post, but instead it's a vital challenge there by Dixon. Tracked him all the way and put it out for the throw. Gabriel with the throw in here. Gets it back from Arnaud Henry. Loses out to Gabinet. Now Romero looks for the long ball forward. They're definitely leaving 3 up top. I think they might have changed their structure a little bit. Abdesamad's header is poor. Kakapa will get the ball. Or Kakasapa, I guess that would be, with the weird little fodder under the S or the C. But Carlos Andre wins it back and comes flying forward. Frenetic end-to-end stuff here late on in the game. Schaefer with a great chance. You would have put money on him scoring. 20 finishing, 20 composure. He can't find the corner though. Koverman's with another excellent save. Richard, backstick ball towards Schaefer. Koverman comes out and claims it very well. He's had a good game. We spoke about him in the build-up. And he's been very good, the Newcastle keeper. And just like that, no real fanfare about it. The full-time whistle blows. 2-0 victors in the end. Bruno Castro and Jose Santana getting the goals. 24 shots, 11 on target, 66% possession for the Isle of Man. 16 shots, 9 on target, 34% of the ball for Newcastle. Passionately, we're going to say, very happy with the result and the way you played. We just want to keep morale up as high as possible, especially heading into the New Year period. That will help us quite a bit on our way. And it does see us stay 2 points clear at the top ahead at Manchester United. It looks like City have dropped points though. A 2-0 defeat to Everton away from home. That's fantastic for us. Gives us a bigger separation between first, second and the chasing pack starting in and around third. But Man United are relentless. Sean Dyche has a very, very talented side. Santana gets the Man of the Match award. Classy Santana on form for FC Isle of Man. His goal and an assist. I didn't actually realise the assist. We're going to say he was superb in the number and quality of chances, and he's responded fantastically well. Still a wonder kid. He's got a couple more months to go before he turns 21, but hopefully by the end of the season we can see him up around 4.5 stars if he continues performing at the rate he has so far this season. 7.11 average rating for the year, 7.5 over his last 5 games. He's in a good little run of form. Now there's 2 things we're going to do. We are going to clear out the entire team, and we are going to give everyone 1 rest day, just to try and maximise everyone's condition as we get into a good run of games. We are also, ahead of the Tottenham game, going to play our backup lineup. Esteban, when we see out with injury, we're probably going to rest a couple of the other players as well that have been struggling for fitness or under fitness test, just as we try and work them back to full fitness. But we're likely going to go with a backup lineup being a Carabao Cup fixture. Hopefully, Yusuf Balde can get himself fit and ready to start in that match to continue his development as well. We do have, though, in a couple of days' time, looking at our schedule, the Champions League first knockout round draw. Now, it's Saturday the 11th today. It's in 2 days on the 13th, so magic of editing. We're going to jump forward to the knockout round draw now. All right, just like that, we're a couple of days further ahead. Now, looking at the seeded teams, the sides that have started on top of their group. You can't see these, I've just realised, because they're hidden behind my head, but the ones you can't see are Barcelona, ourselves, Isle of Man, Real Madrid, and Schalke topping their groups. Over on the other side, Chelsea, PSG, Roma, and Juventus. Then the unseeded teams, the ones that you can't see, Atletico Madrid, Feyenoord, Manchester City, and Olympique Marseille. Bayern Munich, Inter, Man United, and Valencia. There are some big teams in that unseeded pot. We've beaten Atletico Madrid comfortably. We know Man City are a challenge. We know Bayern Munich are a challenge. Inter beat us at the UEFA Super Cup. We know they're going to be difficult. Manchester United, obviously a very, very good side as well. It will be very interesting. There are some big, big sides and some big, big draws to come in the Champions League knockout stages. We will come out on the left-hand side of the group being one of the top seeds. Oh no, maybe we won't, because I guess maybe it's 2 legs. The second leg, our home leg, will be at home, I'm guessing is how this is going. Bayern Munich have pulled out Juventus, so we've managed to miss them. Inter Milan have pulled out PSG. You can always tell because it takes a little bit longer than normal. Man City have pulled out Real Madrid. We're going to get Valencia, maybe? Yeah, I think it's us. It is. You can tell it just takes that split second longer before it actually pulls out that name. So we're going to play Valencia in the first knockout round. That's actually not a bad draw. I'm not too devastated with that. We'll have a look at them in a moment, how they've gone. United, as the other English side, they get Schalke. Man City drew Real Madrid in a huge, huge tie. Chelsea got Feyenoord and would expect to go through as well. Having a look at Valencia, 5th in the first division at the moment. Looking at their history, they haven't won any divisions or anything crazy like that. They did finish runners-up 5 seasons ago, it looks like, and had a 3rd place finish maybe, 9 years ago before that. But nothing really massive in terms of silverware or competitions throughout their history or throughout the save, as we've seen it here, starting in 1920. Not 1920, the year, 2019, 2000. You know what I mean. You played the game. Let's look at their competition milestones. Are there any jumping out at me? They did finish 3rd place in the First Division. Runners-up in 2034. Any European competition wins? They won the Spanish Cup in 2028 and 2036. Runners-up in 2034. Spanish Super Cup they won in 2037. Were runners-up in 2036 and 2029. But otherwise, not a whole lot that's happened for Valencia throughout the course of this 7 series. No real big competition wins for them other than that Spanish Cup triumph. I used to love Valencia back in the day. I don't really have, I've got locally in Australia, Melbourne City, and the team that made me fall in love with football, Manchester United. I don't really have teams in every country, but I've always really appreciated Valencia's kit. I've always thought they had some fantastic kits throughout the course of history. And they've had great players like David Villa, David Silva, Juan Mata back in the day, Ruben Baraja, Santiago Canizares. They've had some phenomenal players throughout the course of history. If we look forward to our schedule, that does mean that we've got a bit of a gap before we play our Champions League first knockout round. We might make that a subject of the next episode. Actually, no, we're not, because I can see there's 2 huge fixtures here, Manchester United and Manchester City. We definitely want to bring you guys those, but maybe it's later next week that we do the Valencia games. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out as we go. We do have a couple of days before the Carabao Cup quarterfinal. We are going to rotate our squad quite a bit. Magic of editing, though, we'll jump forward to the lineups against Tottenham now. So just like that, we're a couple of days further ahead as well. We have rotated the squad quite a bit. It is mostly the backup options. You can tell by the kit numbers, the players that are out there, hopefully, still quality and still able to get beyond Tottenham away from home. We're going to drop back to that positive style. We spoke about it just at the start of the episode. I think it did okay in the game against Newcastle. Of course, then it gives us the ability, if we're not doing that well, to go super attacking and super aggressive if we need to change the goal on. It did the trick against Newcastle. We are going to try and give a bit of a spell to some of the key players. Arnaud Henry, Esteban Rivera, and Carlos Andre all out of the squad. Esteban, of course, injured. We don't really want to do anything with him and risk exacerbating that injury further. Lucas Gabriel was the other one that I was maybe thinking maybe we give him a start, given that Yilmaz played in the last game. But I think, again, we might just give him 30 minutes off the bench towards the end of the game, try and build up his fitness and his conditioning that way. But otherwise, Brady in goal, Warburton and Tuzla as defensive partnership this time out, Medjadu at left wing back, Yilmaz at right wing back, Haji and Lind in midfield, Mateo as the left winger, Richard as the right winger, Martinez plays a little bit deeper as the deep line forward, and Yusuf Balde, the wonder kid we signed during the off-season from Real Madrid, he'll lead the line up top. Looking, I think, over at Tottenham's lineup, we did beat them pretty convincingly in the earlier league match, but that was a very different lineup and a very different team. It will be interesting to see if they rotate their lineup at all. There are some new faces out there. I don't think it's a full strength lineup. They, of course, lost Alisson Vicente this most recent off-season. They're not starting Dobrich, though, who's really been his replacement this year. They're not starting Omiyonga, who's usually the partner of Corentin Silva at the back. Corentin Silva was previously one kid that we looked at back in the day, tried to bring him in, but they wanted ridiculous money. They wanted, I think, before he'd even made a first-team appearance for Tottenham, when he'd been out on loan at Frankfurt, when he'd been out on loan at Genoa, they wanted £200 million for him, and we just did not have the cash to be paying that sort of money. But I do love a left-footed ball-playing defender. I think it always gives good balance to a side. They've got another ex-wonder kid, Vetlukgayev. When we brought in Eduard Kozlov, he was the other wonder kid available at CSKA Moscow. Been decent, hasn't quite, I think, hit the heights that they would have wanted for him, especially given how high his potential was. We've seen a few Russian wonder kids come through in the last few seasons in this save as well. He's another to add to that list. Up top, the big man, wearing the captain's armband, Mohamed Bayer, who was previously at Manchester United. We haven't actually played him since he moved to Tottenham this season. 7 goals in his first 15 appearances in the Premier Division. Not a bad record by any stretch, but I don't think he is as high quality as Alisson Vicente. They did get £190 million for Vicente, and they've only paid £55 million to Manchester United for the Turkish striker. So they've still got some talent. Let's not make any mistake. I think Tottenham is still a strong side. They're still a big club, and just because they're not sitting towards the top of the table this season doesn't mean that they're not capable of beating us on their day, particularly away from home, particularly given how much we are rotating in the Carabao Cup as kind of our, as we prioritise different competitions, I guess is a good way to put it. There's a ball here, edge of the area with Tottenham. They've played very narrow, but Juninho's gotten goal side. Brady with a good save. You can see they didn't have that width there from the fullbacks. The fullbacks were very much tucked in, trying to create an overload through a central area. Areola with the ball in, Lind with a good header away. Balde should get there first, but the highlight comes to an end. And we do make it outside the first 15 minutes without conceding, which is always a positive in any of these big fixtures. Haji with the ball out left now for Mateo. Do well to keep it in. He's giving it back to Gonzalez, though. Plays the ball forward to Bayer. Must be playing as like a false 9 or a deep line forward because he's dropping into very deep midfield areas. Christian with the ball to Areola. He was miles offside there. It's given as a goal kick anyway, but he was definitely offside in the build-up. Looking at other fixtures and other results, Leeds playing Chelsea in a big fixture. City playing Liverpool. City has gone 1-0 up, but also gone down to 10 men in the opening 20 minutes. United are comfortably beating Championship Middlesbrough already in the first half. There will be some big teams falling out of the competition regardless of results at this stage. Liverpool have got an equaliser against Man City. It might be good to see City drop out of the competition. Yilmaz, back to twos here. All the way back to Brady. Can we work this side to side? Good ball in there to Warburton in midfield. Puts the ball in front of him. Now out to Mateo on the left. We can work a 2v1. Medjidou's there with him. He goes back stick though. Richard with the header just over the crossbar, but it didn't have that much pace on it. I think the keeper would have had it covered. And it's half-time's called. 8 shots, 6 on target, 38% possession for Tottenham. 4 shots, 2 on target, 62% of the ball for the Isle of Man. I'm thinking we do what we did last time and go to the attacking structure. Our highest average rated player at the moment is our goalkeeper, Paul Brady, so maybe we do need to make some sort of adjustment, pick up on the signs a little bit. As far as the team talk goes, I'm going to passionately say, time for everyone to dig in, show me what you've got. And I'm going to tell the front two, you weren't that bad and you can still improve, and they've at least responded positively. We do have good depth on the bench though. We'll get to the hour mark. We'll have a look at some subs, some changes based on form, fitness, all that sort of stuff, and hopefully make the right additions to break the deadlock as things currently stand. And that hour mark has snuck up very quickly. No highlights for either side yet in the second half since we've made that tactical tweak. We're just going to sort here by average rating. Mateo's not had the greatest game. We'll bring on Paul Harold. Balday's not had a great game. We might bring on Uli Schaefer. And then what I might also do... No, we'll leave Schaefer as the advance forward. We'll give him a chance to lead the line in the Rivera role. I'm passionately going to say I've got faith in you. Get out there. Make a difference. We might mix this up differently. If we don't see in the next 10 minutes or so some sort of highlight for either side, we might make our last sub a little bit earlier than the last 10 minutes. Ball here in midfield for Tottenham. Out wide now, right to Sepulveda. Was playing at centre-back. Dobrich has come off the bench and he's got the strike not far away from the far post. Keeper was scrambling. But they've moved one of their centre-backs out to right-back, which might be an interesting tactical tweak. We're going to make our last sub a little bit earlier. It looks like Richard's not having the greatest game. We'll bring on Bruno Castro. Actually, you know what? I'm going to immediately change my mind on that. We're going to leave Richard out there. We're going to bring on Lucas Gabriel for the last 20 minutes. And let's see if he can't turn it on a little bit on that right-hand side. He was excellent coming off the bench for us against Chelsea when we had that come from behind victory. Can he pull out a similar result against another London side against Tottenham today? I've used a get creative shout as well. As soon as we can, we're going to use a demand more also. And to be honest, I've forgotten what it is at the quarterfinal stage of the Carabao Cup. Does this go to extra time or does it go to a replay if it's a draw after 90? I think it's extra time. They've got a corner here, Areola to take. It's pinballed around. Sepulveda puts it home, but he's miles offside, so that one's going to get brought straight back. Wasn't close, and it's really the first highlight that we've seen of the second half at all. 4 additional minutes, and they've got a free kick right at the end of it here. We're beyond the 4 minutes, ref. Call full time. Dobrich from about 25 yards. Not a bad effort, but it was always working its way back into the side netting rather than on target. And it just goes immediately to penalties, apparently. So Martinez is decent at them. Schaefer's not great. Gabriel's not great, and then it drops off very, very quickly. I wonder if any of the subs we made had been better at penalties. I wasn't really bringing that into consideration when making our changes. But it's the old ABBA format. Or no, AB. I think that's how you say that. ABAB, which is a lesser-known Swedish. I think they might even have been a Norwegian rock group. Areola with the first highlight here for Tottenham. It's a good penalty, to be fair. One apiece after Santana. Was it Santana or Martinez? Martinez finished his one. Schaefer with the opportunity from the spot. Good penalty. Clips the inside of the post on its way in. Keeper could do nothing about it. Dobrich, the sub, and so far the star man for Tottenham, came off the bench during the course of the match. Didn't change it, but he's just put a really poor penalty in there. Paul Brady with an excellent save. Hisham Haji from the penalty spot. Right-footed Dutch midfielder. What can he do? He puts it straight at the keeper. We immediately left them off the hook. Tell you what, going in at 3-2 or 3-1 up is very different to 2-2. Corrington Silva, they're taking a defender early, and it's a good penalty to be fair. But Brady did go the right way, but it had a lot of power and pace on it. Couldn't get across in time. Lucas Gabriel, right-footed player. Good penalty. Goes low and hard back across the keeper. Bottom left-hand corner. Keeper did move to the right side, but couldn't get there in time. Thiago Christian now for Tottenham. Midfielder. Oh, Brady was nearly there again. He guessed the right side. He wasn't miles away from it either. Be heroics for him if he could pull off a second save in the shootout. Medjidou to take one here for us, and he sends the keeper the wrong way. Composed penalty from the left-back. Big chance here for the star man Mohamed Bayer, taking the 5th penalty in the shootout. It will, of course, start running through subs, and the further we get into our team, we start getting down to players that are got 2 and 3 penalty taking, which is ridiculous for a Premier League side. Mohamed to take, and Brady again went the right side, but couldn't get across to it. Richard here, right winger, with the opportunity to try and give us another advantage, put the pressure back on Tottenham, and he sends the keeper the wrong way. It's a good penalty into the right-hand side of the goal. It's going to be Kashiabu, I think is how you pronounce that. I'm not 100% sure. Who's an Italian midfielder, I think, at the base for Tottenham. Is he right-footed or left-footed, though? We're about to find out here in a moment. He might be a lefty, given that he's lined up on the right-hand side of the ball. Brady's already saved one. No, he's right-footed. Let's see how he goes. Brady, again, goes the right way, but he goes late. It was a good penalty, to be fair, right into the bottom corner. Paul Harold, full England international, left winger, with a chance to add the advantage to us. He's gone straight down the middle, and the keeper saved it. So the pressure all back on us again, and it might take Paul Brady heroics, who's been good in this game, to try and bail us out. Van der Kraan, ex-Ajax midfielder, ex-Wonder Kid from a few years ago, steps up for Tottenham. Be interesting to see how the young Dutchman handles the pressure in a shootout environment. Tottenham will go through if they score, and it's straight. I'm going to be honest, it wasn't a great penalty. It wasn't even in the corner, but Brady was excellent for us. I can't be upset with him. In the end, 18 shots, 9 on target, 41% possession for Tottenham. That's interesting. They actually did better in the second half as we went attacking. Maybe we should have stayed positive a little bit longer. 7 shots, 3 on target, 59% of the ball for the Isle of Man. And it's penalties that it takes us to knock us out, but we don't defend our Carabao Cup title. Assertively, we're going to say, unlucky boys, it was meant to be. And I guess the positive is we knew we weren't going to get 6 trophies this year because we already lost the UEFA Super Cup. I guess with the Carabao Cup falling out as well, maybe now we can focus on other competitions and defending our Champions League and Premier Division titles, which are probably a bit higher prestige anyway. Man United go through, thumping Middlesbrough. Liverpool go through, knocking out Manchester City. Chelsea go through a 93rd minute winner against Leeds. So some big sides in the Final Four there across London and the Northeast. Or Northwest, sorry, I should say. Northeast is the other side of the country. But we bow out at the quarterfinal stages, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Brady gets the Man of the Match award. We might give him a bit of praise. Paul Harold left to rue his decisive penalty shootout. He wasn't the only one that missed one, but he did miss the last one, and that's the bit that everybody remembers. Now, looking forward, we've got a couple of days before the game against Leeds, so I'm just going to quickly set up a rest day here so that I don't forget. And then, as we look forward in our schedule, we've got 2 huge fixtures coming up. We're probably going to play the next 4 league games off screen: Leeds, Swansea, Fulham, and Tottenham. We've got a game against West Ham in the FA Cup as well. Given that that is early in the season and West Ham are sitting down towards the bottom of the Premier Division, we will probably rotate, play a backup lineup. But then we've got 2 huge fixtures: an away trip to Old Trafford against second place Manchester United, and then a home game against Manchester City, the only side so far in the Premier Division season that has beaten us, previously beating us away at the Etihad earlier in the year. So a bit of a revenge mission there, and hopefully a chance to try and open up a points gap towards the top of the table. 2 huge games. You'll have to tune in on Monday and see how we get on in both. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. The continued support on this series and on the channel has been absolutely fantastic in 2020. I've enjoyed it quite a bit. And let's be honest, 2020 hasn't had that many highlights, so we've got to grasp the little ones that we can find along the way. If you want to continue to support the channel, go that little bit extra further for us. Be like kind of a super fan if you want to look at it that way. You can drop a like on this video, or you can subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date on all of our future videos as they continue to release. We are in the next few weeks going to do a little bit of extra content related to Football Manager 21. I think we might do like some separate videos. I might do one that's kind of like my hopes for the future and my hopes for Football Manager 2021. We might also do, like a beta save reveal. We might also do a competition on our long-term save. All that sort of great stuff that will come in the next few days, weeks, and months. But more than anything, guys, I just appreciate you watching. That's the part that means the most to me. As always, I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the mixer.